This dreaded tale is called The Road Less Traveled. The sun was setting behind the jagged peaks of the mountains, casting long shadows across the winding road. My friends and I were on a road trip, seeking adventure and a break from our mundane lives. Little did we know, this trip would be anything but ordinary. We had been driving for hours, the excitement of the journey slowly giving way to fatigue. The GPS had lost signal miles ago, and we were navigating based on a crumpled old map we found in the glove compartment. The road was narrow and treacherous, with sharp turns and steep cliffs on either side. "Are you sure this is the right way?" Sarah asked from the back seat, her voice tinged with anxiety. "Yeah, I'm sure," I replied, though my confidence was waning. "The map says this road leads to a small town where we can rest for the night." As we rounded a particularly sharp bend, the car's headlights illuminated a dilapidated sign that read, "Welcome to Black Hollow." The town's name sent a shiver down my spine, but I brushed it off as mere superstition. We drove into the town, which seemed to be abandoned. The buildings were old and crumbling, their windows shattered and doors hanging off their hinges. The only sound was the wind howling through the empty streets. "Let's find a place to stay," Mark suggested, trying to sound upbeat. "Maybe there's a motel or something." We parked the car and got out, the cold mountain air biting at our skin. As we walked through the deserted town, we noticed a faint light coming from a building at the end of the street. It was an old, decrepit inn, its sign barely legible. "Looks like our best bet," I said, leading the way. We entered the inn, the door creaking loudly as we pushed it open. The interior was just as run down as the exterior, with peeling wallpaper and dusty furniture. An old man sat behind the reception desk, his eyes hidden behind thick glasses. "Welcome," he said in a raspy voice. "Looking for a room?" "Yes, please," I replied. "Just for the night." The old man handed us a key and pointed to the stairs. "Room 13, last door on the left." We climbed the creaky stairs and found our room. It was small and musty, with a single bed and a cracked mirror on the wall. Despite its condition, we were too tired to care. We settled in, hoping to get some rest before continuing our journey in the morning. As the night wore on, strange noises began to fill the air. The sound of footsteps echoed through the halls, and faint whispers seemed to come from the walls themselves. I tried to ignore them, convincing myself it was just the wind. But then, the door to our room slowly creaked open. I sat up, my heart pounding in my chest. A figure stood in the doorway, shrouded in darkness. It was the old man from the reception desk, but his eyes were glowing with an eerie light. "You shouldn't have come here," he whispered, his voice barely audible. Before I could react, the old man vanished, leaving the door wide open. I woke my friends, and we decided to leave immediately. We grabbed our things and rushed down the stairs, only to find the front door of the inn locked tight. Panic set in as we searched for another way out. We found a back door that led to an overgrown garden. As we stepped outside, the temperature dropped drastically, and a thick fog enveloped us. We stumbled through these, trying to find our way back to the car, but the town seemed to have changed. The streets twisted and turned in ways they hadn't before, and the buildings loomed over us like sinister sentinels. "Where's the car?" Sarah cried, her voice trembling with fear. "I don't know," I admitted, feeling a sense of dread wash over me. "We need to keep moving." As we wandered through the maze-like streets, we heard the sound of footsteps behind us. We turned to see shadowy figures emerging from the fog, their eyes glowing with the same eerie light as the old man's. We ran, our hearts pounding in our chests. The figures pursued us, their whispers growing louder and more insistent. We turned corner after corner, but there was no escape. The town seemed to be alive, shifting and changing to trap us. Finally, we found ourselves back at the inn. The front door was now wide open, and the old man stood in the doorway, his eyes glowing brighter than ever. "You can't leave," he said, his voice echoing through the night. "Black Hollow has claimed you." We backed away, but the shadowy figures closed in, their whispers filling our minds with terror. There was no escape. We were trapped in Black Hollow, doomed to wander its twisted streets forever. As the fog closed in around us, I realized that our road trip had taken a horrifying turn. We had ventured into a place where the boundaries between reality and nightmare blurred, and there was no way out. If you enjoyed this tale, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more.